I remember calling Ace one day, because by this time my brother was, really rolling with him. I was like, yo, man, what happens when I get older and I'm not on? And he was like, what do you mean? I said, because right now, I'm 15 and I would still be kind of, compared to Crisscross and these guys. But I said, if I get older, I don't know who I am. Like, I don't know what to rap about. I don't know what to do. He was like, look, just don't worry about that part. Just keep writing. Just keep writing what feels right. So, my confidence would waver a lot as I got older, but I knew I had some type of talent. I think my Achilles heel was always just who am I? That was always the thing that I struggled with.
My soul around 8 or 9 realized I had a crazy mind. I turned 10 and wrote my first lazy rhyme with no pen. I figured out I wasn't like them other kids when I was young. My teacher asked me what I wanted to be by the time I was 21. I said I wanted to be 21. Start my own business, stack funds, and enjoy life until my living was done. My teacher was stunned. I told him most people need 9 to 5 to find their lives. Look at my eyes, I'm not the one. You see, I went from fragrances of pitchy floors to Christian Dior, from bagging haiku war to high class war on tours, from breaking the law and breaking at my neighbor's accords, to breaking records and laughing at what I was making before. Now, all I gotta do is smile.
So my brother had this mixtape and it had Public Enemy on it. It had Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, KRS-One. It was stuff that I had heard in passing, but I hadn't. It's nothing like hearing it next door to your room and going in there and be like, who's this? Who's this? Who's that? And he made me a copy. Once I got a copy of it, and I'm in 5th grade, got a Walkman, and that was all I played. And then all my Michael Jackson posters just came down one by one. And I just started like researching, these hip hop guys. And everything changed.
Got it all the way down. What's up, buddy? Are you looking sad? You just ate spaghetti. You wanted more?
I get in summer camp and there's a talent show. And my cousin Dre Knight, who had became my cousin through marriage, so we had Discovery Day Camp. He's like, yo, man, we need to get in this talent show. And I'm like, I don't have any talent. So he's like, you rap? I said, no, I recite other people's raps really well. Like, I was good at that. He's like, man, come on, you could do it, you could do it. So I wrote a rap. It was called We're Fresh. It was really bad. My name at the time was Kid Dynamite. I had taken Dynamite Kid from the Mike Tyson Punch-Out name and just flipped it. So it was, the hook was like, I'm Dynamite and this is DRE and we the baddest rappers in history. We're fresh, we're fresh. It was real bad. So I write it and go next door to my brother's room and I'm like, yo, check this rap out that I wrote. And he reads it in like the dumbest voice. And he's laughing at me. So I'm like, man, this is terrible. But the next day I take it to camp, show it to Dre. He's like, yo, this is crazy. So now I'm confused, I'm conflicted. So he would just be like, yo, this is crazy. We gotta do it, we gotta perform. So I'm like, all right. Right before we performed, there was 3 other kids that were older than us. And they killed it. But they used Big Daddy Kane rhymes. We didn't know at the time. But they didn't have no catchy hook like we had with Fresh. So the crowd started saying it. We're fresh. I don't know why they said it. I don't know what happened. So we won. It wasn't until maybe a year later, we on the bus and they put me on the spot. And they like, yo, we heard you nice. Let them spit something. I had nothing. So I'm scratching my head. And by that time, my brother was kind of in the industry a little bit. He started hanging out with certain people, hanging out with Master Ace here and there. So he had an early copy of the symphony. And I had an early copy of the symphony. So I knew these kids hadn't heard it. So they was like, spit something. I'm like, setting it off, letting it off, beginning, up to the end. You never been. Like, I kicked the first 8 bars. everybody was like, yo! So I'm like, oh shit. And I'm nice. For real, for real. So I had to go home and write. Roll my ass off.
One time, it goes, somebody, anybody, everybody, listen, please stop what you're doing. I'm about to ruin everything you love. When I'm done, bring my crew in. Bad niggas screwing, cause the women be pursuing and the tension is brewing. I'm making everybody hot when they wanna chill. Stop when they see the steel. Mad when they see my grill. Sad when they see I'm real. Love when they wanna hate. Give when they wanna take. Just when they think it's safe. You know I make the ladies look, then they wanna touch. Touch then they wanna taste. Taste then they wanna hold. Leave when they wanna follow. Come when they wanna go. Know when they hear me flow. Done when they see the dough. I'm making everybody bounce when they wanna bop. Start when they wanna stop. Lose when they wanna win. Whole thing they wanna drop. Fall when they wanna stand. And stay when they wanna leave. Run when they wanna walk. And choke when they wanna breathe. You don't even gotta tell me. When I come around people, they can smell me. I gotta go to hell. I'm from the ghetto. Gutter, ghetto. Ready for whatever. Hottest summer. Sunny weather. Rockin' levels. What's up? We get it hot from the bottom to the top. Got niggas out in the spot screaming out. Don't stop.
I would always go to Lenny S. A&R Rockefeller and play music and just ask him if I should get a job. So he would always tell me I should keep going, right? So then we put out these freestyle CDs, which is 6 freestyles. We gave them to labels, we put them in barbershops, came out here to Atlanta, All-Star Weekend, giving them out. Went to Miami for Source Awards, gave them out. And they actually worked. Like people were calling, I had meetings, I got an offer from Desert Storm was interested, Joe Budden's people on top wanted to sign me. You know, it was dope. And then we finally did Let Me Show You the Way, my first mixtape in 2003. I went to Lenny, matter of fact, I saw Lenny at Foot Locker. And I was with my manager, Booby. And Booby was like, yo, why you don't mess with Sha? And Lenny was like, what you talking about? It's my man, it's my man. He was like, nah, you don't mess with his music. Like, he was like, yo, for real. He was like, yo, take this and listen to it. Then he was like, yo, that's my man. 6 months later, Lenny two-ways me. He's like, yo, I'm on a plane right now with G. Roberson. We just listened to the first 6 tracks and we didn't skip nothing. He's like, yo, it's like 8 in the morning. He's like, yo, this is crazy. He's like, yo, you got more? They'll come in the office tomorrow. So I'm like, oh shit, my life just changed. Like I was excited, like crazy, because I had always come to him with music, but again, I was trying to find myself. So this was a big moment.
You want a beer in your face? You don't have more vision than people. I got to struggle.
So now things are kind of moving. Now I get the Source unsigned hype. Now I got paperwork from production companies that want to sign me. So now I'm bringing Lenny all this stuff, and he's like, yo. So he's giving me little tests here. Yo, do this Alicia Keys remix. Let me see what you do with it. Do this R&B remix. Let me see what you do with it. And he's blown away by the verses I'm coming with, and I'm turning them around fast. So he gets the job at Virgin Records. And now I'm thinking it's a done deal. But he tells me and my management, like, yo, all they got is this artist, Gorilla Black, that sounds like Biggie. Like, they don't really have no music, no rap music over there. So I'm like, oh, it's a no-brainer. We good. All of a sudden, we're pushing, trying to get through that door. And my boy Booby decides to write an email in Lenny's voice and said, Lenny, pretty much telling him, yo, man, you're working here. There's no reason they shouldn't sign your artist. Lenny was like, no, you're right. So he toned it down more, and he actually hit send and sent it to his, the staff. And they hit him right back and was like, yo, Lenny, you're right. Like, this is somebody you believe in. This should happen. Like, let's do it. So, that was the beginning.
This is what niggas work for, to get at. And y'all niggas just look like regular, like signing this record contract today.
We know what this means. This means hard work. This means the beginning, man. It's the beginning. You know what I mean? So we know what we gotta do. Each point for we ready, prepared,
so
training.
I don't think, we think we need to jump up and down. I mean, we belong here. We deserve this.
Gentlemen, yes, it's the man himself. That long time coming, man. Long time coming. I remember, 2 years ago.
Put your social data, bro.
Do it for the dough, do it for the dough. I feel like a jerk, but I do it for the dough. Say, do it for the dough, do it for the dough. We smoke to get high, drink to get low, sleep so we dream. One day we gotta go, go. I do it for the dough. People story right here. I do it for the dough. She said I don't wanna dance, I just do it for the dough. That's what Shorty said when I came to see the show. How we got to talking about it, I don't really know. But she kept telling me I am not a hoe. I ain't even care, but I was bored. I said, so if I had a G to pay you, you would tell me no. For a couple hours if we stuck out on the low. She said, do you have it? I said, I think I'ma go. She said, wait, the 2 kids I got at home, they get left alone, so I need a loan. I'm staring at her body, her complexion and her tone. And God bless this pretty child, she has the right to get her own. Look, I took some footage on my phone of her flipping on the pole. She was sniffing my cologne when I paid her light bill, just for brightening my day. When she asked me if I needed change, I said we both do. I don't wanna work, I just do it for the dough. Do it for the dough, do it for the dough. I feel like a jerk, but I do it for the dough. Do it for the dough, do it for the dough. We smoke to get high, drink to get low, sleep so we dream. One day we gotta go. We do it for the dough. Hold on, stop that for a second.
So once we got the deal, we shot the DVD, CD called Switch Sides. That was my 3rd mixtape, the first one on Virgin. And it had just a visual journey of a lot of the stuff we were doing. And we played it for the staff, and we had 2 staff members in tears just because of, the journey. So I'm excited. I'm thinking the marketing department is behind me. Everybody's loving it. And we were ready to go. But the issue was, they had picked Clapback as a leak record. That didn't fit who I was, so it was the wrong league record. And then Jermaine Dupri came in as the new president. And that shifted things a lot.
I'm so raw, so real, so ahead of my time. I'm so deep, don't sleep, so much shit on my mind. I'm so strange, no games, I give myself when I rhyme. I'm so hot, don't stop, play this back and rewind. I'm so raw, so real, so rich, hold still, so lost. No flaws, no pause, 4 wheels, 1 9, 2 4s, 3 dimes, 6 whores, 1 light, 4 vests, so stressed. You want more? I'm so large, so far from the cats that used to seeing. So slick, no shit, I sold crap to Europeans. So ill, so real, yeah. I'm so nice, a whole life in the same tool I use for pen. I keep heat like it's my iron curtain. I stay frowning when I smile, it's hurting. In my soul, this fire burning. Every day I live my life, I'm learning more and more. I'm like the violent version of myself. Sometimes I'm Tyler Durden, sometimes I'm stimuli. Look how I'm controlling this whole shit. I throw fish, got these bitch niggas folding. And so scared, I'm prepared anywhere and I'm holding. I got a 9 and a spare, and I ain't talking about bowling. You see how I'm flowing? I told niggas they wasn't ready. I told them I would start killing shit, and they wouldn't get it. I told them I said it, they listened, and I know that they heard it. I'm so filthy, so guilty, now I'm switching the verdict. I heard 3 strikes, you out, but 10 strikes is perfect. I'll be getting so confused, my point is I can't do it.
Jay-Z became the president of Def Jam, so he asked Lenny to come with him. Lenny asked to bring me. Jay said yes. And then Jay kind of stalled with everything. So the whole 2005 year, I stalled. I was like, all right, let's wait for the deal. Finally got the meeting with Jay and the staff, December 1st, 2005. They played some songs. Young Guru was like, yo, man, rap. I rapped. Rapped my ass off. Throwing CDs around the office. I'm pointing at Jay. I'm going in. I'm going in like my life depends on it. Like it's the 4th quarter, I'm down 20 because when they played the songs, Jay is a chess player. He ain't moving. He'll bop a little bit, but everybody's waiting on him. Ain't nobody gonna go crazy. Ain't nobody gonna, react until he reacts. So when I spit, I made sure that they reacted. So we left that meeting and Jay said to the staff, how do we get what he did in this office into a million living rooms? And Shakir Stewart, rest in peace, said sign him. But they wanted us to come back and play more songs, and from that day on, everything kind of just fizzled. We tried to go back to Virgin, and I found out that pretty much we didn't have an A&R over there anymore. So now contractually, I'm in between. Virgin is not dropping me, and they're not letting me use their name for anything because Lenny started putting me on Def Jam mixtapes. So the streets are thinking I'm on Def Jam, but once Jermaine was like, "Oh, it didn't go through," all right. So I had 2.5 years of trying to go. We went to Jive, we went to Irv Gotti. Irv was like, "I ain't touching it." He's like, "I don't even want to hear you." He said, "I'm not stepping on Hove's toes." He's like, "I'm gonna need Hove." He was like, and he was straight up with us. He was like, "Yo, I'm not doing it." So I wasn't necessarily blackballed. It was just like, people didn't understand it. It was like, I don't know why he ain't doing it, but if he ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. We wanted to take things into our own hands, but my team started to crumble because KJ and Bowie wanted to stay with Virgin in the beginning. They never wanted to do the Def Jam thing. So they was like, "Oh, hey, you ain't gonna listen to us, so we gonna go get somebody else. We gonna start doing a radio show. Like you a hard-headed artist." During that time, I'm recording, but the world is not the way it is now, where you can just put stuff out and reach people. So yeah, we had an online presence, but we kind of lost it. But it was just a lot of stuff I didn't understand, I didn't know, and I was trying to grow up. So I didn't get out of that deal until maybe 2008.
It goes finally, I'm feeling like rapping beats, magazines, human beings. I see them, my passion for spazzing on, half my soul killing mics. Look at them, they alright. Look at me, this is life, this is death, this is real. Mixtape, this is not. People thought, critics talk, some had heard I was rock, hanging on, waiting on. Wanna see if I'm a flop, I'ma stop, watch a watch, transform on a watch, roll out, no doubt. I flow, optimist, rhymes now, one half optimist, other half pessimist, MC nemesis. This is my genesis, better yet exodus. Wait, no, exorcist. Only exception is I make your head turn. Who will y'all just learn? Stimuli who? You can't criticize truth. This is real what I do. Your favorite spit of time too. I feel so supreme, so supreme, so supreme, so supreme. I feel so supreme, so supreme, so supreme, so supreme.
From 2005 to 2010, I'm back and forth out here. I'm considering these true life decisions. Like, do I get a job somewhere? Do I stay in New York and possibly work in the industry? Which, was probably the easiest thing, to go to Sirius Radio or, start to do something within the industry that would give me dignity, where I wouldn't look like a failed artist. But at the same time, I'm in a long distance relationship with somebody I love. And every time I step foot in Atlanta, I'm so excited to just be here. So I'm like, man, but if I come here, I'm starting over. I'm gonna have to work somewhere. I'm gonna have to lose the Stimuli moniker. And that was tough. And that's where I kind of just started to sink and try to get to know Sherod. The calling came. And then that whole CD I did, I'm trying to search for what the hell is my calling. Then I did the Chills and the March, and it got me away from just rapping about the industry or rapping about trying to get on or worried about anything other than just what do I want to say? What do I want to say, and who am I? So it was okay for me to purge that entire year of every month putting out songs that, whether I'm questioning religion or police brutality or whether I should work, how does that look? Will I ever have a family? Like, do I want to be a father? Do I want to be a husband? Like all of these things I didn't know. And to have the ability to put that out through music, I believe saved my life. Because I was having these fleeting thoughts that were just like, I'm not gonna get recognized until I'm gone. Like that was logical to me. And I knew it wasn't healthy, but I didn't know how unhealthy it was. You know, you hear about depression all the time, but you're like, this can't be that. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, yeah, when you think about not being here, and then you think about it again, it goes away and it comes back. But then you're able to write a song and play the song, and you're like, oh shit. All right. I was lost. And once my girl and I split up, and I was out here and I didn't really have a network, I think that was like the lowest. So the music became totally therapeutic. And that's when everything just became a representation of where I am and who I am. I don't need to talk about having a fancy anything, you know. I got rid of the jewelry, a lot of stuff I had to shed. And you know, the music became really honest.
I went from unsigned hype to unhyped sign. Sha Stimuli. Back in the days, it was take these drugs and back that dime, then hit these clubs and back that dime, to get that shine from small ass rhymes to long ass grind. I crossed that line, took all that time and forced my mind to switch from messing with girls that's already taken to dealing with women and smashing and dating. I went from being impatient to the creator, sometimes praying to Satan, to realizing I was bitter and hating. I went from wishing and waiting for things to happen, now I'm snatching and taking. I went from whack to your favorite, I went from attic to basement. I mean mainstream to underground, you can't even place me inside a box. When I rock, went from rapping real basic to making soul stirring, earth spinning, classical statements. It makes your skin twitch, spine tingle, can't even trace it. I went from acting and faking and rocking shades on the stage to being passionate faking. People relate to my pain. I went from hard to difficult, went from spitting to bleeding. I was rhyming for money, now I view money as freedom. I was nobody, now when you ask who could be them, the answer's nobody. Now later ever, I'm heated. I was hot, flame torches, now I'm like the human torch. I went from metaphor and orphan to a spiritual force to joy. God, and this goes out to you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, huh? And this goes out to you, and you, and you, and you.
When I bumped into my future wife at my high school reunion in 2005, I was like, damn, she messing it all up. Because I liked her. I liked her a lot. But, you know, we had a lot of hurdles with her being in Atlanta. You know, she's from Queens, but she went to Clark and stayed out here. So I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work. You know, we just had a lot of things that just didn't fit. But we were so cool and became so, you know, so much good friends and talked on the phone every day. And I started to see the future. I just didn't know how, and I didn't know how I would navigate the vices of a hip hop artist being on the road. And she definitely was not about the hip hop artist life. Like that was her biggest thing from the door. Like your vocation is not anything I'm a fan of. But over time, I wasn't a fan of it. You know, I started to dislike it. With my indecision about where I wanted to make my money and how I wanted to live, and we fell apart. Yeah, it just didn't work out. So I moved out, got a bachelor pad. Yeah. And then we started hanging out a little bit, and we had some real conversations about a year and a half later. So we still communicated and we still remain cool. And I think that's the biggest thing is that we never cursed each other out. We never we just knew that we had to move on. We were still trying to find ourselves, you know. I'm searching for my calling. I'm falling out of love with the rap business, realizing that a lot of things I was saying I wasn't even a fan of. And I'm like, I don't even listen to this stuff like that I've been doing. I didn't like a lot of it. So I just was like, why am I stifling myself for something I'm not in love with, you know? So I went from blaming her because I thought she was making me choose between her or music to understanding that she was saying, if you really want music, go get it. She was like, even if you got to move back to New York, just go do it. Don't not do it and then blame somebody. So I had to make a choice. So I think the substitute teaching, which was around that time where I'm living on my own, there's no excuses now. Like if you want to rap, go rap. And I wanted to, but I wanted to use it as a tool. I didn't want to be, you know, the next big thing anymore. I just wanted to say some stuff. Once she and I got speaking again, we had some real powerful conversations where we just got a lot out. And it just opened the door for us to date again. Once we got back together, we knew we weren't gonna play around anymore. Like we weren't gonna shack up. We weren't gonna. It was like let's just do this. Like her mother called me and was like, if y'all gonna be together, y'all need to go and get married. And I agreed. So we automatically went to the courthouse and just started the process. We had 2 weddings. Did one small one at a church, and then had a bigger one in November 2014. Maybe a month later, I came home and she had a watch, like a jewelry box with, I thought it was a watch in it, and it was a pregnancy test. And I just sat there. She said my face had this type of joy that she hadn't seen. Because I was supposed to go to a urologist or something like that. Like I had an appointment because I had never had a pregnancy scare in my life. So I was like, I don't know if I could make a kid. She had complications when she was younger. So I was like, well, let me at least check myself out. So that appointment was scheduled probably a week after she showed me the joint. So I was like, whoa. I was like, I make enough money. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And and then he came, man. September 11th. He had to do a C-section. I remember just hearing his cry. Um, his cry was crazy. But I heard the laughter of the doctor, Dr. Andrews. She's always jovial. So once I heard her laugh, I know it was just comforting. And Zaire's just been he's been a blessing, man. He's been a true next level blessing that I couldn't foresee. And then the second time around, again, I mean, we wanted to do it again, and we tried to wait until Zaire was 3. But again, you don't know. And she left a note in my bag, in like a card, and it said Coach Williams on the envelope. So she told me, "Oh, I left something in your bag." She been told me for like 4 days, and I finally was like, "Let me see what the hell she's talking about." And I opened it, and she had wrote something like 3+1 or something, and I just was like, "Wow, yeah, it was crazy." I can tell you this: I never wanted to be this age, um, early 40s, sitting down watching an award show, whether it's BET, Grammys, whatever, and feel sick because I'm not a part of that life. Like that was a big fear of mine, especially in like 2007, 2008, when I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Can't get a job and be a regular Joe. and be watching award shows and feeling sick. But I can safely say I can watch award shows now and say I probably wouldn't be a part of that world right now. I might be in the audience, or I might be doing a movie or two, but there's still a chance for that life. But this life, yeah, I wouldn't give this up, you know. Yeah, look at my mute, man. You know.